Hi, I'm Eli Juicy Jones, and I just did the entire intro to the show without the audio on. So now I'm doing it again. I am Eli Juicy Jones. This is Juicy Jones HQ. I'm so excited. It's Vaping Dawn to Dusk. This morning, we've got Mike Buryanek from Instagram, one of our oldest viewers in Vape Fam. He's been with us since at least January of last year. And so we brought him on the show. He's available. He's going to hang out and talk with us. We're going to get a vape story out of him, and we're going to chat with you in the audience and have a good time. Tell me that you've got your cup of coffee or tea. I've got the Shakespeare insult mug and your vape. Yum, because today we're going to give him a little chat. So let's get him up here, and then we're going to talk to the chat. Hey, Mike, how are you? Good morning, buddy.
Hey, GC, how's it going?
I'm good, man. Did you like how I screwed up the intro? That was really funny, actually.
Hey, that was good. I liked it. It worked for me.
Do you know that's the second time this week I've done that?
Really?
I'm actually experimenting with my audio, so sometimes, like this week, I'm clicking on the wrong button because I'm doing things a little bit differently. I hope I sound better. In the audience, you guys tell me how Mike sounds. Tell me how I sound. If it's weird or whatever, we'll make adjustments. Mike, you look great.
Thank you. So do you.
Yeah, thanks. I guess start out. Tell everybody what you're vaping on. I'll tell everybody what I'm vaping on in a minute, and I'll do a little recon in the audience here.
I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 things going right now, but right on in my hand right now, I've got the Minikin V2, and I've got the TFV8, and it's got Betty pinup.
Dude, is the TFV8 rainbow there, or is that
this
is blue too? Damn, that looks good with that Minikin. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks really good. Yeah, that
Minikin
is hot.
I like it with the, then I've got the home wrecker with the Crown 3. And on this one, I'm vaping, vaping Pure or Aqua and Pure and Flow, 2 good fruit flavors. And then last but not least, I've got the Remnant Cartel with the Captain tank. And I've got a mixture in this one of the Flow and Lana, another pinup flavor.
What is that mod? Show that off a little bit there.
Yeah, this is the Remnant Cartel.
Your camera froze for 1 second, but it froze on the mod, so it's perfect.
Good.
It looks beautiful. That's DNA or is that mech? It's DNA, right?
No, it's not a DNA. Mm-hmm. It's the Vaporesso Omni chip.
Oh, okay. I don't know why. I thought that was a DNA. I should have given them more.
Yeah. So they do have the temperature curve and the wattage curve to help, compensate for that. But it's working wonderful. Just got it yesterday out of the box. Vape mail.
Nice.
Yeah, loving it. Having a good time.
They're telling me that my lights are washed out. That's probably true. My camera, I had to reset the settings on this. So thank you, everybody. Well, that's great, dude. That's awesome. I'm vaping on my iJoy Captain PD270 mod, which, as you guys all know, I'm so committed to the 270 size revolution here that these guys are great. There's another one coming out from Inikin here soon. That's going to be here probably Tuesday. And there's you're going to see a flood of 2700 mods here pretty soon. Anyway, I like this. It covers all the basics. And I'm using the Cheetah too. It's got the tightest O-rings in the history of O-ring chicanery. But the airflow is so smooth, dude. It's side airflow, and it's got a little dome top inside. It's one of those things that once you set it and forget it, it just vapes great. But man, getting that cap down can be kind of. Okay, so let's lower the exposure here. No wonder we're on auto. Dude, boom! Now I look human again. Everyone will say you look human, Juicy. That looks great.
Excuse me.
Well, Mike, I want everyone to know. So you've been with the Vape Fam here for over a year and a long time. You've watched broadcasts and stuff, and I just know that before we get into too much just chit chat, first of all, thanks to everybody in chat. I love all you guys, and we're going to get to all the chit chat there. But let everyone know what your vapor story is. We always want to get people's story of how long they smoked and what that experience was like and why they started, and to give people a sense of what it was like for you to quit using vaping, or whether it was hard or whether it was easy. Everybody's different, and just so we can relate to the fam. There's people out there trying to quit.
Oh no, it's all. Actually, I started smoking late in life. I started smoking clove cigarettes as peer pressure on job, out of town job, things and conferences, and a friend that I knew there smoked cloves, and so I tried it and started loving it. And so my first experience with e-cigarettes was trying to copy a clove cigarette because they were outlawed because of the flavor in Indiana. And so that wasn't real successful, but my original was with a 3-piece little thing with the size of a pencil, the cartridge and atomizer and battery, just like a cigarette. And then I eventually ramped up, and I still smoked at the same time, however. Then I finally made it up to egos and so forth. And I always said I'd never carry one of these big old clunky things, but lo and behold, I finally ventured into my vape shop and said, hey, what can you do for me here? My first mod was an iStick 30 with a Nautilus tank.
So that would have been a couple of years ago.
Yep.
Give us an idea of what the timeline here is too, because you started smoking at conferences, but how many years ago was that?
That was about 10 or 15 years ago, 10 to 15. Okay. And then I
remember cloves.
Then I started overlapping, vaping and smoking for a couple of years. Couldn't quite shake it. And then when I sub-ohmed 2 years ago in May, it was days and I was off the cigarettes. It was amazing to me. Once I got that sub-ohm feeling. Yeah, and it was like the next day I was back wanting a better mod because the iStick 30 wasn't giving me enough. So then I went to an IPv4 and had that for the longest time. And, I've been off ever since. It's been about 2 years now, exactly. So
that's fantastic. Yeah, 2 years is great. And so the transition was pretty quick for you. And you went right to that iStick. Okay, good. I'm glad. How much were you smoking? And it wasn't tobacco, right? It was the cloves, which are a mixture of tobacco and cloves, by the way, if you guys don't know.
As cloves got harder to come by and they became like the cigars and, 12 in a pack for an ungodly price, then I started smoking Marlboros and other cigarettes. So I did venture into cigarettes. And and I had a roommate then that smoked. So it made it even more difficult. But once I got that sub-ohm feeling and that flavor and that burst, it was home for me, Then it became like an obsession, a hobby, and I couldn't get enough. And I wanted to learn everything I could, just absorb it all, So it's just I can't put it away,
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's really, and so what about your health too? Like, was smoking all that stuff affecting your health, or did you feel like you felt better afterwards?
Oh yeah, much better afterwards. Not
after smoking, but after quitting.
Right, after quitting.
Right.
Exactly. Shortness of breath and, trouble, having trouble breathing and, coughing up, the gunk we all are familiar with. And that's all gone away, I actually have an app for, to measure the progress health-wise as you progress with no smoking days.
How many
days yeah, it's really nice. So I'm going to live longer according to the app. So it's all good.
That's awesome. I'm glad. Yeah, quitting smoking is really a tough thing. And, really everybody has a different experience with it, but everybody has a moment where they feel like their health is just decaying and where you're just sucking wind, walking everywhere. And I still suck wind walking places or walking around places, but that's because I don't do any cardio. It's not because I'm just naturally, my lungs are dying. And it's such an empowering feeling to wake up and just decide, I'm going to quit smoking. I have to quit smoking. It could be for your kids. It could be for yourself. Like for your, it could be for any reason. It doesn't matter, but you have to do it. And because you have to live longer, it's just killing you. And so to quit smoking, some people, it depends on how much you smoke or whatever. I personally recommend getting something, like a little Nautilus 2 or something, and just starting with high nic, 6, 9, 12 nic, and then trying to just vape a lot until you don't want cigarettes anymore. But dual using works too. Like you were just saying how your roommate is quitting as well. And it's pretty good. And it's come way, way, way down. And then that is fine. Don't let people judge you for dual using or whatever. If you're quitting, you're quitting. Your goal is to not quit or not smoke cigarettes anymore. And you're going to get there. It might be gradually. It might be fast. Everybody is different. I woke up one day and I was like, no more. So, but I had to use lozenges and I had to use all kinds of other stuff. And I finally came to vaping and I was like, oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. First of all, although I'm going to say, everybody who just tuned in, hi, I'm Juicy Jones. This is Juicy Jones headquarters. That is our friend Mike Buryanek and the Vape family. And this is Vaping Dawn to Dusk. We are having a Saturday morning. That's what we do here, is have the Saturday morning. And let me see if I can get our cool title up. We're talking about vapor stories. We're talking about quitting smoking. And we're sharing. So if you just tuned in, tell us what you're vaping on down in the comments right there. If you're watching in the replays, tell us what you're vaping. Just reply like anything else if you want to down there and leave some comments. Tell us in the chat where you're from, what you're vaping on. And in this case, tell us how long you smoked, because we're going to get some long answers here. People smoked for a long time. And I smoked for almost 30 years myself. I started when I was like 14. Yeah, I was just a little kid. So yikes. That sucks.
Yeah. At least you were a kid. You didn't know better then.
Yeah. Although I always, that just seems like an excuse, but you're right. I mean, it's absolutely true. I didn't know. And in the 80s, they lied to us more. There was still, the people in the know knew that tobacco was addictive, but still the marketing was there. They had just stopped advertising it on TV 10 years before in the 70s. And so cigarettes were still a big deal. The Marlboro Man was a big deal. I'm old enough to where I've seen cigarette ads. And if I didn't, then I've seen recordings of cigarette ads, because I remember old cigarette ads on some old screen. Like I remember Richard Nixon resigning and a bunch of other weird shit like that. And I don't remember knowing who the hell he was, but I remember it being a big deal. That's all I remember, really. It's a big deal.
No comment.
Yeah. Jamie Glazer has her G Priv and TFE12. That's killer. And everybody's shouting out. It looks like there's some report about popcorn lung that's resurfacing or something. Have you seen any new reports about popcorn lung?
I have not.
What were we just talking about before the show? Vape Classy. Yeah. I want to rant about Vape Classy for a minute. What do you think about that? Like, we saw another what's her name ad from the iJoy PD270 with one of those like bikini models in vaping. You what was your previous job? Let's just educate people a little bit. You worked in marketing for the post office, right?
Correct. Right. I was in marketing for the Postal Service for the last 12 to 15 years.
Yeah. And forget about what you think about the Postal Service. It's just a serious professional marketing job, guys. It's a job where you have to know what you're doing, and you manage a lot of people, and you have a budget, and there's things to do, and you make decisions about where to spend money to get people to know about your product or whatever. And so you're a guy that works in marketing. Like I was a guy that you were higher up than I was, works in marketing. What do you think about all the titty models and stuff in vaping and using sex to sell vaping and where we are in the industry there?
It saddens me personally, because it just goes for a temporary market. It's not a stationary market. It's a quick sale, and it just is it's just cheap marketing. It's not going to get customers that are going to stick with us or stay with vaping. It's just making it look good. They're buying it because of the girl. The more models that we put on cars with no clothes and holding a vape, just doesn't cut it. It's not what vaping is really about. Quitting smoking and enjoying the fact that we're being healthier, living healthier lifestyles.
Yeah. It's a lifestyle thing. And from a pure professional standpoint, I would point out that it doesn't sell. It only sells to a little piece of the market.
Right.
It doesn't sell to most of the people. And just because you see 1.5 million followers and 3,500 likes or whatever, a lot of that's Twitch. And you're not going to see actual purchases be that much huger than someone else. Correct. And look at engagement. A lot of those engagements aren't engagement. They're just people going, notice me. It's not her engaging with the people and being a person and telling them about that product. It's just, histrionic. Oh my God, these tits love this juice or whatever. And I find it embarrassing. I am a feminist, and I believe in #Vape Classy. I don't believe in that. And on top of it, it's professionally amateur hour. Mm-hmm. Like, no, somebody find me another huge company that uses sex to sell like this. Only companies that are amateurs do this. And it's because they don't have people telling them to do the right thing.
That's right.
Invest in other, my engagement on my little 21,000 Instagram is much better than almost any of the other women that have Instagrams around my size. And part of the reason is I engage. And not better than all the women. I want to rephrase that. Better than all the ones that are just using tits. All of the women who are using their personalities and themselves to sell and to make good pages and stuff, they're doing better than I am. They're doing better than I am because they're cuter and prettier and their pictures look better and they're wearing clothes and they're just better than I am. That's being just better than me. But just having tits, that's worse than me. That's doing worse. That's a race to the bottom. And it doesn't sell. It doesn't make sense. Whoever gave you that advice gave you bad advice, and it's a short-term gain. I'm not judging. People think it's a good idea, but I tell you, it's amateur hour, and not very many people are telling people the truth about this in vaping. It's just only for amateurs. It doesn't work like you think it does. Demand metrics. Demand metrics for sales, because I challenge you, if you invested in 3 or 4 other medium-sized women and watch them grow and then let that go over a year, then I challenge you, you spend the same money on 3 women who have medium-sized pages the size of mine and watch those grow, and you're going to sell more juice.
Do a return on investment analysis and see what happens.
That's right. Do some professional work. Don't listen to the idiots who tell you, you gotta do a post on TittyBot. Why do you listen to that? You know, I get all kinds of notes from people that I ignore that are bad ideas. I ignore them. They're bad ideas. I don't, no, I'm not going to review that.
You won't take your shirt off?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
Good for you.
Yeah, I will, but you don't want to see this. No, just kidding. It's like a hair, just hair from my collarbone, just like a gorilla. I'm not hairy in the back, though. I'll just say for the record, I'm not hairy in the back. My girlfriend's glad about that. She's like, oh. But there's nothing wrong with that. Like my stepdad had hair all over his back. Anyway, so I'm sorry about the rant there, but I say vape classy. There's tons of great women in vaping, and there's no need at all to make regular working women run around in half-ass clothes like that when all you're trying to do is support a healthier lifestyle. You're not. Now, if it was like my friend Renee, who swims around Alcatraz and rides up and down hills and stuff, well, that's fitness, isn't it?
Amazing.
So we're not talking about fitness. We're talking about just, kind of mediocre looking underwear girls. No, y'all. No.
That probably don't even vape anyway.
Yeah, I mean, they do. I'm sure most of them do. But the point is, it's just icky. It's just creepy that it's so unreal. And everyone knows it. You're just getting bad advice. I'm calling out to all the vape manufacturers who use this to sell. It's unnecessary. Whoever told you it was necessary is just doesn't know very well. Call a professional and ask them what they say. Don't believe me. Don't believe another professional, Mike. Even though we're professionals, ask another professional. Pay someone to tell you what they think, and they'll tell you the same thing that we tell you. Because if you hired me to tell you, I would tell you this. This is free advice. Usually it's $120 an hour. Free advice. Do not use sex like that to sell. Find other ways, because you have a long-term thing to think about.
That's right.
Yeah. I'm not into it. Oh, hello, everyone. Steve Archer, Dana. Hey, there's Dana. There's James, always doing a great job in the chat. I love him. And Logan, it's so great to see you, dude. The Foxhound. Hey, there's our buddy from down there in California. Yeah, they're complaining about the smoking ban in San Francisco. It's another absolute travesty. A miscarriage of the public service. Those public servants have done a bad thing, and they need to be held accountable, and that needs to be undone. It's not based on science. It's not based on fact. I'm not going to sit here and get into a big fact check session here, but I tell you, it's based in bullshit. There's no fact to that juice flavors do not increase vaping in kids. And how do you explain the fact that smoking rates are down so fucking far if vaping isn't doing anything? In the last 7 years, smoking is plummeting and vaping is blowing up. I mean, correlation isn't causation, but vaping is about quitting smoking.
Right. We just had a similar issue here in Indiana.
You did? Oh, yeah. Yeah, tell us about that.
Well, a lot of e-juice manufacturers were banned from the state. They had to comply with so many regulations and strict rules that nobody qualified except for one company. Yeah.
A partner and friend of the people who wrote the law and who are in office there. And Mike Pence, our crooked ass vice president, who needs to go to jail for allowing the Russians to steal our election and knowing about it, taking money from Russians to fix our election. That's what I accuse you of.
That's the one.
And I say let them prove it. But he's scum. And it's been proven in Indiana. I don't know how he only ever got elected because the Koch brothers like to pay, because he went to a Koch brothers meeting and said, I'm your man. That's why he's vice president. If you think I'm wrong, you look this up because you don't know about that meeting. And so that asshole helped Indiana make a gerrymandered perfect law to where only their, but it's the exact opposite of America. These people stand up there and say they're about America, but they don't want anyone to examine laws. They don't want anyone to talk about stuff. All they want is for you to repeat, yeah, America, and then never ask questions. Because everything they do fucks you. Everything the right-wing anarchists do fucks you. And sitting around talking about like, you know, all of this shit that they ask you to talk about, like how unfair the media is and Hillary and all that stuff, that is all a big, have you ever seen The Wizard of Oz? I mean, come on. Do I need to like take this back to kindergarten? The Wizard of Oz. Oh my God. And thank you to Chili Dog. Chili Dog put 10 pounds, 10 euros, which is actually really valuable money. Unlike American money. I don't know how much that's worth, but it's more than $10. And I thank you, my friend. I love you. Chili Dog was on last week, and I'll put a card up here for you to watch this episode. We did some fun DIY. It was really cool. And I thank you, Chili Dog. Thanks a lot. I'm sorry about that rant, but I get really angry. But they're defunding and destroying our country little by little, and they're making all of they're lying to everybody and telling everybody they're doing positive things, and it's really sickening. It's where they're actually dismantling the government, and then they've sold this idea the government is bad, but that doesn't make any sense. Name a place in the world where government has ever not existed where there was any good. Exactly. I mean, all the places in the world where civilization came together and made a social pact to make things better, like the ancient cities of Persia and Babylon and Alexandria and Rome. I mean, all of these cities are places where people came together to create. And the worst times in world history have been times when communications between countries and governments collapsed because of disease or famine or whatever. And those times were around 1200 BC. And around 500 AD with the Black Plague. It happened twice. We lost everything twice. Who knows where we'd be now? We'd be living on Mars. But no, everybody wants to go back to putting up a fence and having a gun and having to fight for a gallon of milk and over a goat to squeeze it out of. Why? Why do you want to go back to cavemen? Why? What's attractive about that? What, nobody offends you? Nobody tells you that you're stupid because you didn't learn basic anything? Well, I mean, there's a better solution. Just go learn something. And then you'll start going, oh, wait a minute, that is bad for us. Wow, I guess I didn't realize. And then, yeah, you've committed the worst sin, the sin of pride. How come all these Christians forget about what my grandma said was the worst sin? The worst sin is the sin of pride, right? But somehow, like, that's okay. Pride's the only thing that's okay anymore. It's weird. It's like I look around and I'm like, oh my God, the arrogance, the desire to shove things down other people's throats, do unto others, gone. Pride, the only thing that matters. It's like that's the opposite of Christianity. It's the opposite of Christian values. And I grew up with my grandma beating that into me, and it's weird. And now I mean people defend it, and they tell me my grandma was wrong. Like whatever, I don't get that. I don't get any of that stuff. Doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Anyway, so I went on another insane rant about how they're trying to destroy our country, but I don't want to do that. It's a vaping show on Saturday morning. I get so serious sometimes, and I agree. It's a flaw. I'm sorry.
But it's about vaping. So luckily, though, the judges are overturning the ruling, so we're getting back up there. Yeah. They are.
And in fact, we need the FDA. We need the FDA to allow all the flavors of juices and to make them test them to make sure they're safe. We need that. We need the FDA to make them test some of these devices and achieve certain standards. We need them to enforce labeling on batteries. I mean, none of this is wrong. Who could argue with any of that? Who else is going to do it? You think they're going to voluntarily do it? Have you listened to that narrative about the free market? The free market doesn't exist. Governments create markets. And they create them with rules, and the corporations have written the rules in America, and it isn't a free market, it's a corporate market. But they've gotten they've fooled you into repeating the words for them. And that gets them everything they need, which is your money. I won't do it. Oh, Dana, I love you too. Oh my God, we have 2 donations. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I go, I usually you'd think it would go more ranting, less excitement like that, but I'm so glad. I appreciate it. I love all you guys. I think you guys are great. That's awesome. I hope you guys are enjoying Mike. I really love having you on. You totally set your studio up so nice. Like, Like you put lights on both sides.
You told me what to do, so.
And I like how you have this. Look, tell everybody about your stamp thing. That's an Elvis. You've got like an Elvis cancellation up there on your right.
This one? Oh yeah, that's James Dean actually.
Oh, is it? I just saw hair.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that is. I don't know if I can get you there or not, but yeah, that's James Dean. A first day issue cancellation, and
that is cool.
And, yeah, so that's kind of fun. I kind of was hoping that my cave, my rules sign would show up. Can you see that one behind?
It is. It's there. Yeah, you see it.
Yeah.
I do
Okay.
now,
Good.
anyway.
It goes with my Batman poster, so
that's good.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, I like that poster too. I had a first day cancellation postcard from the post office in 1971. It was like a few days before my birthday that they drove the Moonlander the first time.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it was like August 18th or something, or 16th, and I was like, oh yeah, and I bought that, and I lost it, of course.
Yeah.
Because I've always been into fountain pens and ink and paper, and I used to be in the letter club. Oh, that's right, we were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, I love fountain pens too. I didn't know that about you, so that's cool to know.
Do you also have fountain pens and stuff?
I have several, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Look.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh my gosh, I've got a caddy just like that underneath my cocktail table.
Oh, that's good. My favorite one of all time by far, easily, there's no question, is my Parker 51. And where is it? Here it is, right here. It is
nice.
Dark blue, coin silver, pearl cap.
Wow.
51. I think, no, 1952, 51. It's original, first or second year, fully restored, nib like a fucking nail.
Wow.
It is like you can write so fast with this.
Scratching all the way.
It's the flaws are that it doesn't have a cap click. It doesn't have a screw, so that's good. In case you guys don't know, screw-on caps are for people who don't write very much. And caps that pop off are for people who have to write a lot. I got my doctor to start using a Lamy 2000.
Wow.
Yeah, I brought in a fountain pen one time, and he said, "What's that?" I said, "It's a fountain pen." He's like, and I was like, "I can't believe you don't use a fountain pen." And he's like, "Well, why?" And I was like, "Well, because everybody who writes a lot uses a fountain pen. Because how many pens do you go through in a day?" He's like, "Oh my God, 4, 5, 6, 7." I was like, "Imagine doing that once every 3 days, and once every 2 days, once every day, ink." And he's like, now he owns 2 of them.
Wow.
And he's like, "Holy shit, this revolutionized my practice. It's like I don't have to change. I don't have to find pens all the time. This always works. Pull it out, pop it off, start writing, put it back, and I only have to fill it once a day." And it's also, and when people come to me with steam, they're like, "I love steampunk." I laugh at them. What do you use every single day that's steampunk? I'll tell you what I use every single day that's steampunk, and that's fountain pens.
Yep.
If there's anything steampunkier than a fucking fountain pen, I'll show you a diagram of the inside of one. You'll go, "What? They do what? You think an atomizer looks complicated?" They're actually quite simple though. It's just making the shapes right, like making the sections the right shape, making the nibs the right shape, right length. It's about capillary action, y'all. If you take a fountain pen and put it upside down in a coffee cup full of paper towel, it will be empty the next morning, completely empty.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, LabWorks has a Rotring 600. There's some fans in here. Hey, there's Julie LeBlanc. Michaela Vapes is chiming in.
Hey.
They're talking about how her ex comes over and smokes a cigarette and puts his legs up and throws his arms around the vapor. He's like, "Oh, vapor." That's funny. It's just silly. Smokers can be so silly, but smokers are our friend, right?
They got to be.
Yeah, because we want them to quit, don't we? So tell me, what are you doing in your retirement besides sitting around your cool computer desk?
Oh boy.
Vaping.
Taking care of my dogs, cats, fish, bird, my cockatiel. I'm surprised he's being quiet. Pee-wee, my cockatiel. Yeah, he hasn't chimed in yet. I don't think he's awake.
And I don't think he can hear the stranger's voice, like.
That's it.
It might be like for him, it's like he just hears you talk and he's like, "Yeah, whatever, Dad's just dang."
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't know there's an exciting.
Yeah. Another. Yeah, usually if I get on the phone or start talking and have a conversation in the house, he chimes in louder and louder. But we're fortunate, so we'll keep it that way.
That's cool. By the way, if you just tuned in, I'm Juicy Jones. This is our buddy Mike Buryanek from Instagram. His link is in the bottom. Follow him. And we're having Vaping Dawn to Dusk. We learned his vapor story about how he quit smoking, and we're chatting. Please continue. I'm sorry. I was just station identification.
No, it's all good. I've got a koi pond outside, and so I've got 5 or 6 koi left that haven't been eaten by the herring.
Do they eat them?
Yeah, they come, and the raccoons, they kind of come and like to take their pick of the litter.
Do they?
But, I call them my pond puppies because when I go out with food, they come running to you. It's really cool.
That's actually kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they can see me coming, and so when I go by, they just come swimming up to me wanting food. So I have to throw them a bone. Well, not a bone, fish food.
A cow. You put a whole cow. You have piranhas.
Yeah, right.
Maybe. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I did put catfish
used to keep fish. You did?
Yeah, just to keep it clean, but that's all good.
Oh, my girlfriend used to keep an aquarium, and she kind of is making noises like she wants to do it again. Yeah,
they're a lot of work.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I question. I don't want to be doing any of that work. I don't like lawns. I don't like lawns and fish tanks.
No. Yeah, I got both. Well, I got a pond and a lawn, and a pond in the back. But
you have to mow it yourself.
Yeah.
What do you use? One of those old school ones or power?
One of those rotary things that you push. No.
Boom. I'll do a little bit at a time.
Yeah, actually, that would be cool. I've seen those around, but I actually use a regular push lawnmower. And actually, my roommate Donald does it most of the time anyway. So.
Oh, never mind. Who cares?
Right.
There you go. As long as you don't have to do it. There you go. That's good.
Yeah.
Dana says she's been trying to get her old man to quit for 4 months, and he refuses. It's frustrating. Yeah, you can't force. You can lead a horse to water. He's going to have to get scared for his own health. I mean, tell him that you don't want him to die, and that it's like he's asking you to watch him limit his life every day. And aren't you committed to a whole life? Like, vape and live with me longer.
Right.
Isn't it worth it? Yeah, it's uncomfortable and it's hard, and you're going to have to feel uncomfortable, and it's going to have to feel tough. And then we're going to get through that. And you're not going to be a vapor smoker anymore,
Yeah.
But don't dread the work. Think about the goal. The goal is so worth it. You're going to feel 1,000,000 times better, and you're going to live longer. You're going to be living with Dana an extra 10 years. Can you buy that? I mean, I can't say it'll be 10 years. Who knows? I'll probably die tomorrow of a heart attack.
Then, the apps are really pretty cool. If you have an iPhone or an Android, there are some quit smoking apps on there that show the effects of what it looks like after 6 weeks off cigarettes and, 2 months and so on and so forth. And you can see some progress. Sometimes that is effective. At least it was for me. It helped. But
yeah, I say go higher Nick, maybe. I always recommend going another step up on the Nick if it's not working. And unless the first diagnose if the device is working. And then try to figure out what airflow you need. Like if you really need it to be like a cigarette, then find a device that's actually like a cigarette, like a Nautilus 2. And or a Kabuki or a whatever. There's another one from the Zelos tank. I forget which tank it is, but they have another one from Aspire that uses the Nautilus 2 coils. And then you have to decide to quit. So remember that quitting, here's a mental thing. Quitting isn't never smoking again. And quitting isn't never craving cigarettes again. It's easy to get caught up in the guilt cycle of thinking that you're trying to never crave them. And then when you crave them, you feel guilty, then you feel bad, then you have to have a cigarette because your body needs the nicotine. That's what addiction is. So the deal is, in your mind, you have to calibrate so that you identify that craving as, nicotine craving, boom, where do I get nicotine? Because all the other attendant things, like the irritation and the grumpiness and the anxiousness or whatever, you got to learn to identify that. Like, I'm fucking grumpy. Like, why am I so angry? I need to smoke or whatever. And then you pop out that vape and you vape until it's annoying, if you have to at first. And then go back, and whenever you think about a cigarette, vape, and then keep nicotine high enough so that it's good. And then your mind go, I'm not going to smoke, but higher Nick. And if it's broken, get help right away. Like if it's not working or whatever, get help right away. Go to the vape shop, get them to fix it up, because It's hard. It's hard as hell. That's the whole lesson of this show. It's hard. It's the hardest thing to quit smoking. It's hard, really hard.
Took me a lot of years.
Yeah, it's really hard. And it is different.
It actually took me more years to want to quit than it did to actually quit.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone knows that that's how you quit, is you decide. So when you decide to quit, it's the most important thing. But you have to internally make that click switch. Click, I'm not going to smoke. That has to be in here. No one can help you with that. I can't lecture you into it or bully you into it or tell you anything. But inside, you have to say no more. It's normal to cough, I guess. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, it might be that it's the watts were too high up and the air was too restricted. You might have to make adjustments. But yeah, it requires patience. It definitely requires patience. 12 mix seems good. 9 seems like a better choice for him if he's not smoking that much. But you can also, but the thing is, you can stick with it and you can smoke while you vape. You don't, not at the same time. But I mean, if you're quitting smoking, work with the vape until it gets where you want and then wean off the cigarettes. I mean, it doesn't have to be a binary thing. You have to decide. But remember, you're a servant to nicotine. And I also want to just reassure your husband too, that nicotine is not as addictive as cigarettes with nicotine. Cigarettes are far more addictive than nicotine. So what you're going to find is that the nicotine addiction will transfer to the vape quite easily because everything else addictive about the cigarettes is deadly and makes you feel like shit. But there are actually
7,000 other chemicals.
It's insane. It's crazy what's in it. And it's much, much more grippy. And that's what you're feeling. Once you get off all that stuff, in a couple of years, you're going to find it quite easy to leave your vape at home and then not flip out, or whatever. I don't flip out. I'm annoyed sometimes, but I don't it isn't like cigarettes. Everyone agrees. When you don't have cigarettes, you freak out. You'll be late to work. You'll go the wrong way. You'll do whatever. You'll bum them. You'll freeze. It's all you think about. It's all you think about. With the vape, it's not all I think about. I think about plenty of other stuff. And I lose track of my vape. I forget it. Then like, oh, I need a vape. And I vape and I put it away. And, or sometimes I'm like, I'm going to vape for an hour, and I say but because it's a hobby for me, but it takes time to get to that.
That's absolutely right. If you think about the time it takes to smoke, to find a lighter, to find an ashtray, to, all of the stuff, and burning holes in the car seats and
the smell,
everything. Yeah.
How great is it that your house doesn't smell anymore? It's like great. Nothing I have stinks like that anymore. Like if it stinks, it's because of my body odor. I'm like, yay. There's no more.
Still cleaning smoke off the ceiling.
Yeah, there's gunk on everything, right? It's amazing. Right. Yeah, it's amazing how much tar is like. I had a roommate and we had dishes above the cabinets that we didn't use very much, and I would pull them off and there would be like black.
Yeah.
And they were white ceramic. I was like, oh my God.
That's wild.
Oh, Dana says her husband smokes inside too. Yuck. Oh, you can't smoke. That's not fair because cigarettes are the only drug that you can put into other people without them asking. That's just assault to me. It's like you're putting a drug in me I don't want, and I'm not into it. It's not like weed. Like there's not a significant like secondhand weed smoke. Yeah, right. Maybe Spicoli. and remember Fast Times at Ridgemont High? Like maybe. But not bad. Yeah. And that's true too. We're not trying to ridicule anybody. We want to encourage people to quit smoking. It's like smokers are our friends because I sympathize. I was a smoker. It's like, I don't detest or judge or hate smokers or I pity them, but it's because I understand, but it can be done, but you have to make a decision to do it. Definitely.
I almost always have smokers come up and ask me about vaping and
most of them
want to try it. Yeah.
Yeah. So. I struggle with getting people the trick is just getting people to match their nicotine to the device they've got and not buying. Most of the time, I don't think buying a big super sub-ohm thing is the right idea. I think usually you should get a, iJust like she tried, or a little Nautilus or something like that. But that's why we have vape shops. You can go in there and try it out. Labwork says Spicoli just wanted pizza. That's funny. Oh, and Michaela was talking about vapors who ridicules people who vape and smoke. Yeah, I mean, you have to, if you're trying to quit, I mean, I don't like smoking. And I do ridicule vapors or smokers who also vape. That's not what we're talking about, though. We're talking about smokers who want to smoke, people on Instagram with like cigar pages and cigarette pages where they think it's cool. And then they also vape because they think that's cool. I'm not into that. You need to quit smoking. If you're not about quitting smoking, then I need to help you quit smoking. But if you're trying to quit and you're dual using, that's fine. That's in bounds. That's what you have to do. Do anything you have to do. Do whatever you have to do. Does not matter. Do whatever you have to do to quit smoking. A lot of people quit vaping. That's great. We've got fans here. Like, we've got plenty of people here who've come and joined the fam and then quit smoking and then quit vaping and then they don't come back. And that makes me sad, but fine. I mean, they quit smoking. Yeah. It's all good. And that's perfectly fine. You're making me want to rearrange the paintings on my wall behind me now.
I love the blue behind you. It's great.
I guess I'll keep that color. I'm going to renovate this studio here pretty soon. And we were talking about colors, and I'm actually considering just keeping it. The problem is it casts blue on everything, but that's probably actually the best color to cast, except I should paint them gray or white. White would be the best thing, but I may paint all of it white in this blue.
Yeah.
Because Blue's I just like it color. Too. I know, I agree. I love it. I wear blue all the time.
It's my favorite color, so I'm partial.
Oh, how about that? Yeah. It's funny because your background is more my favorite color, green.
Oh,
like
yeah.
These guys.
Every other wall is a different color. Oh, yeah. Your new vape. Yeah, but see, I've got blue and blue and blue and blue. And my this is blue. Everything's blue. But it's all good. I mix in some orange.
Yeah. Michaela says she used an MVP2 and a Nautilus Mini and cinnamon e-liquid to get off vaping. Also, I recommend Mountain Oaks vapors. I recommend like a Nautilus Mini or like this little Vape Fly Nicholas tank because they've got 1.8, 0.6, or 0.7 coals for both of them. And you can put high nic in this, 6 or 9. And someone like Mountain Oak Vapors, a lot of their stuff is like 60-40 and is really good in these tanks for being good flavor, good for smokers, good throat hit, good lung hit. That's what I vape almost all day.
That Nautilus did the trick for me. It really did.
Yeah. I've gotten off on this little Vape Fly Nicholas that just came out because it's basically the exact same thing, but it has top fill and it has press fit coils that when you pop them out, this is really easy. You just unscrew the bottom and then you just pull the coil out.
Wow.
They don't screw. And this is all clean. This isn't leaking and shit. Like, this is the bottom comes off. It's awesome. I love this thing.
Your e-liquid stays in, no muss, no fuss.
Yep.
Just like Crown.
When you're filling and when you're, both when you're filling and it has a 9-point airflow control system that goes down to pretty much cigarette-y.
Wow.
It pretty much hits the cigarette. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's, of course, at 20 watts, that's not going to work. I use this with the 0.6 coils. I love this thing. I really wish I could buy a dozen of these and give them out because this has the modern feature. The closest thing you can get to something like this is like a Nautilus Mini, which is ugly. And the other thing would be a what's that tank? The Kabuki, which I just ordered, which is $100. It was $108 with the spare parts kit and the Kabuki. I just ordered it. I'm going to do a roundup of this, the Nautilus 2, and the Kabuki. And the reason is that I'm going to show that the Nautilus 2 is actually the worst option. The Kabuki is the best option, but it costs $100. And this is the best thing in the middle. But the con is this doesn't use Nautilus coils. It uses their own coils. So you got to order them from Fast Tech. So mail order only is the con here. And some people simply can't get mail order from everywhere. Isn't that our message for Indiana vapors too, is to tell companies that you can ship to Indiana now? Will you clarify
Correct.
this for me? Weren't we talking about this?
Yeah, we were. There are still some internet companies that won't ship at all to e-liquids to Indiana.
Yeah,
They'll
because of
cancel
those
your
laws.
order. Right, because of the pre-existing laws, but they are now in the process, as we said, of being repealed, and so we are getting new liquids in, and it is okay. So we're starting to see more and more open up, but some still won't. So, we have to take our business elsewhere.
I think it's dumb. But so remember, you guys, y'all tell them you can ship to Indiana. That's old. AZ Swag Sauce ships to Indiana. Mountain Oak Vapors ships to Indiana. Van Gogh Vapes ships to Indiana. Use Juicy Jones HQ code for discounts on those. But those are the people who support this channel, and they ship to Indiana. So you can demand that these people know. So whoever your vape company is that you like or whatever, please ask them to reevaluate their policies, because they put those policies in and they can take them out.
That's right.
Because Indiana vapors are suffering there. They're not able to get some products. That's irritating. Yeah. Irritating. Josh just joined us, and he said that he was dealing with work junk today. Well, good. Great to see you. How much should I do a time check? Is that uncool? So what else is going out there in Indiana? What do postal workers do?
Well, actually, it's a beautiful day today, so that means I've got to get outside and work in the yard. We had thunderstorms yesterday, and I got a day off, so back at it. Yeah.
So are you working now, or are you, do you have like a side job, or are you?
I'm actually an accredited pet dog trainer.
That is badass.
Yeah. And I love Shih Tzus. Imagine that.
I can't believe that's true. That's so badass. That's so rad. Oh my God, I have 1,000 questions for you. How do I get her to stop barking at neighborhood dogs?
Oh, we live. That's a whole nother show.
We'll do a whole show about that. We live right downtown, and we have neighbors with very rude, loud dogs. And of course, I know that dogs say different things to each other, and there's certain things they say, but this one dog only has one tone of voice, and it's the tone of voice that says, "Everybody come bark." And I want to know that one day. It can even be in there. We'll talk about that later. But man, that kills me.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God, Dana's making a barbecue.
Oh, wow.
She says, "Nice to meet you. Stay sexy, Chili Dog." Thank you so much. And thanks to Chili Dog too, because you guys are the greatest for contributing to the super chat. I love you. And I will eat your barbecue. So don't invite me, because it'll be gone. That's cool. Oh my God, I totally forgot what we were talking about, because he said barbecue. Oh, dogs. Oh my God, the greatest thing in the world. Yeah. How did you get into that? I mean, I know the answer.
Just loving dogs. I mean, loving dogs more than people, actually, I'm afraid to say.
Oh yeah. One day I'll be the person my dog thinks I am.
Yeah.
Half the person my dog thinks I am.
And dog isn't God spelled backwards by accident and all that good stuff.
It's the greatest animal on earth.
Absolutely.
It's a perfectly unique animal on earth, unlike any other. I love dogs so much. Yeah, so Sadie just got permanently injured recently, and it's kind of sad.
Yeah. Awesome.
But she's okay. Yeah, it's okay. She's happy. And I can't wait. Yeah. I just, yesterday, oh my God, I'm going to burst into tears. I found my old dog's tags yesterday, and I put him up by the TV, but I miss him dearly. He was my best friend for 11 years, pinball. And he was an Entelbooker from Switzerland, and he was the best dog I've ever even been around. It was astonishing. I've never had a dog I could fully trust. Like, all dogs, you're like second guessing them all the time. Like, oh yeah. Like, oh yeah. But that dog, Pinball, he loved all young mammals. So if it was a young mammal, if it was a puppy or a kitten or a baby or a kid or whatever, he was gentle and loved them and whatever. He might knock over a kid, but never any aggression. If it was an adult dog, he completely ignored them. Like, absolutely would just walk by them, would turn his butt to them, like, just does not care about other dogs. He was the most arrogant little dog. Like, he just did not care. He didn't think other dogs existed at all. And if they fucked with him, he'd fuck with them back or whatever. And if you wanted to earn his friendship, you had to tease him all the time. If you're a dog, I mean. So dogs that teased him all the time finally earned his friendship, because he would be like, "Okay, fucker, let's fight. Let's play." Like, okay, I like you. You I like. All right, you're fine. He only had a couple of friends like that ever.
Oh,
And
no.
but I could trust him. And it was weird. I when I first got him, I trained him, which never do this, but I did. I trained him where I stopped at every corner, every time I walked him anywhere. And he never, like, when he was older, here's what would happen. And this is amazing. Something would happen across the street and he would turn, and then he might make a little bit of lunge, or he would always look at me. Always. I've seen it a million times where he like went, and I was like,
That's
success.
awesome.
No, boy, stay there. Because I'm also aware, but if you don't train them to always look to you, then because you don't want them to make a decision like, I'm going to leap to that across the street without dad,
Exactly.
And so he had a sense of curb. He would like run up to curbs and kind of go, and then leap off of them. And that was always my minute. Because he didn't even realize why he wanted to pause at the curb. It's just Pavlovian. And he got to a curb and was just like, okay. And he would still jump over him, but he would always hesitate. And that's when I caught him every time. Probably 4 or 5 times in his life, I saved him that way. And I was like, yes.
Wow. That's
It was worth
awesome.
every minute of time I spent. It wasn't worth it. Yes, it was.
Yes.
It was a lot of work, dude. It was like every curb. And I live in Seattle. The blocks are this big. So it's like a third of a New York block or a half or something. Steve Archer says dogs never judge you like people. It's true.
That's true.
Yeah, Michaela's commiserating about her old puppy too. I hate losing puppies.
It's horrible.
She has 2 Shih Tzus too. Neva and Preston. They're cute. She just found out the other day that her insurance got canceled and she has to pay back payments to the tune of 4 digits. Yeah. Yeah. And put them on new plans that don't like pre-existing conditions, So yeah, that's not good. So anyway, it's going to be tough for Michaela for the next year or so.
Sorry.
I know that does suck, and I'm sorry too. Love Michaela. I love those puppies. Hey, there's that Tucker artist. Great to see you. Carlos Flores. Hey, man. Of course, Julie. Just looking through the chat. You guys are so great. There's so many people in chat. You guys are so animated and so great. And I honestly, this is my favorite part of doing this channel, is showing up on Saturday and just chatting and hanging out with whomever shows up. And I'm so glad you came today, Mike.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot for inviting me.
I appreciate it. I'm so stoked. You came in more prepared than most people. I mean, you've got the basic tech that it takes. If you want to be on the show, you just need a laptop or a computer or a phone that's new enough to have a good front-facing camera, and you need a little headset like he has. You see that little thing? Jiggle that for them. That's just the one that, came with your phone.
What came with it, yeah.
Yep.
Pretty easy.
And
Whoop, there it went.
There you go, lost it. And you need a decent internet, and you need to have your lighting such that the light is facing you. So you'll notice that he's got his lights, he's lit. And otherwise, that's all you need. Anyone can do it. Email me, juicyjones@gmail.com. We like anybody. We want to tell vapor stories. I love it.
Yeah, you surprised me.
How so? Oh, by asking.
Right.
Oh, no. I'm stoked. I was just thinking about you a couple of weeks ago.
It was cool when you sent me a note and I replied back and you said, hey, you want to be on?
Yeah.
And I said yes before I knew what you meant. It was like, oh, wait a minute, wait.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, you're welcome. And that reminds me too, Michaela's going to come on again sometime here pretty soon.
Awesome.
She was on last year. Yeah, she was on last year.
Great.
We'll see her again. We'll get just the dogs on if she can't come on. Maybe we can all 3 come on and you can teach us some tricks.
There you go.
We should do a dog training show.
We'll do some video training and get on and have our dogs do some vaping tricks or something.
Yeah, where they knock them out of our mouth. They're like, no more.
Have them jump through O's or something.
Yeah. My dog smells it, this stuff. She's like, oh, and then walks away. Like, she'll be sleeping and be like, oh, and then like, just leave. And I'm like, oh, really? It's not like I blew it right on you. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's
My
like,
Oscar does the same thing.
I'm out of here. That stinks. Because to us, remember, y'all, our sense of smell is a joke. And so to you, this tastes like strawberry or whatever. To them, it's like someone poured a gallon of vinegar on their head. You know what I mean? It's like,
but they lick butts too. So what do you do?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. It isn't like they judge. They're like, that smell is not, that smell is not for me, sir. No, sir. Yeah. I didn't like it.
No.
Carlos is asking if there's any new squonk pods worth anything. What do you think about squonk pods? Squonk mods. Sorry, bods. What am I saying?
I can't think of one yet.
Yeah, I can think of a squonk mod. And what was it? It's on the Facebook group. It's one that I think it was it Noob Smith Trainee? Who just posted that? Oh my God, I can't remember. I feel so bad. I have one by VT Inbox by H Cigar, and it's okay. I don't love it. It's fairly all right. I just got rid of a window. I'm going to try to see if I can't find that thing. But everybody chime in. What do you guys think about squonk boxes? I personally think squonking's a little overrated. Join us at Facebook at Facebook.com/Juicy Jones HQ, by the way. And from there, you can get to the group where we can all chat and stuff. But squonk boxes to me are like a little annoying because you can't fill them up while you're driving. And even a big tank, you're going to end up filling up. Like even a TFV8 or something is slightly easier. And also, they're not really as tidy as I wanted to. I mean, I'm sure some boxes are better than others, but just the nature of the seal and stuff, I just get a small amount of leak and stuff. I love the carbon fiber of these. It has little doors that come off. This one's not the super highest quality one, but it's okay. I'll tell you what I don't like is DNA 75s. I don't care what anybody says. Like DNA 75s suck. You have to have the best 18650s. It's because single 18650s by nature suck. I'm going to get one.
You're getting a single 2700, aren't you?
Well, this not a squonk box, but no, I am getting a single 2700 mod from Anakin, and it's going to be here next week. And I'm very excited about that. We're going to see a lot of that because I've been saying for a long time, since December or November, I found out about these. I've been saying that there needs to be 2700s are going to revolutionize single battery mods. And they're also going to revolutionize dual battery mods because this is, you see that I'm vaping at 134 watts and my batteries are at like 20%.
Wow.
I put these in yesterday.
Man.
I put them in while Mike and I were chatting in the evening last night. And it was about 12 hours ago, and I've been vaping on this. And I'm going to have to change them sometime in a couple of hours.
Wow. That's still amazing, though.
Yeah, no 18650 comes close. And so this is going to be single battery 2700 mods will get to 100 watts. And it'll be comfortable, and they'll get amazing battery life. Right now, the DNAs, because of the nature and the amp drain and everything of 18650s, the DNA 75, you're lucky if you get 75 watts out of it, only if you have the best batteries. And believe me, you probably don't have the best batteries, even if you think you do.
Right.
And this will be dead in half an hour. No question. No question. If I sit here and vape on this, I should have started this during the beginning of the show, and I'm sure it'd be dead by the middle of the show. At 50 watts. 50 watts. It'll be dead. I'm going to take it up to 65. Because that's how crazy. 61. Good flavor on the Gaia. Do you know the Gaia?
Good.
Cthulhu. Also messy. The Gaia itself is messy. Oh, I think it does. It weeps and seeps and and capillaries out. You put a pen down on a piece of paper, it starts coming out. Here's the other thing you guys don't know about pens. Fountain pens do not work the way ballpoint pens and gel pens work. Gel pens and ballpoint pens work on friction. So gel pens are close to fountain pens. That's why everyone loves them. But fountain pens work on friction. They rub a ball against a piece of celluloid, and that ball rotates on the friction of that and moves ink in and out of that ball. It takes it out. That's not how fountain pens work. Fountain pens work by taking the very tip of the fountain pen and you put it on a piece of paper, and then this tip will pull ink out of the reservoir through capillary action and deposit it into the paper. And you have to move the pen or it just becomes a big spot and the pen goes empty. Yeah. And that's how fountain pens work. That's why they're a pleasure to write with, because they glide over the paper. The paper wants that ink, just like your atomizer wants it. I love that. I love that factoid. That's so cool. Steampunk, science, science.
Your clothes and couch will love it too if you're not careful.
Oh my God, yes. Let there be no doubt. Fountain pens are messy. They are messy. Yeah, they are worth it, but they are messy. I gave my brother one of the best ones ever, and unfortunately, he's left-handed, so there's just no position he can write with it.
Mm.
Unfortunately, fountain pens are bad for left-handed people, or they're fine for left-handed right-to-left writers. Man, they're perfect for Arabs, for example. But if I tried to write in Arabic or Hebrew, it'd be like, what the fuck? Can't do that. It'd get all over my hand. Ed Tucker Artist points out that paper is a big key factor in what's good and what's bad in fountain pens. And that's true. I've got tons of, how many books empty books do you have?
Who, me? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
You.
Ton.
Yeah.
Because the paper is non-absorbent. It's too shiny. Or I don't know.
Either
not
too
porous.
slick. It's either too slick or it isn't slick enough. And it just bleeds out and you see little spider hairs all over it. And that's called creep and that's awful. And the best paper. Papyrus. Yeah, papyrus is good. And the best paper is by probably who's the company that makes all the orange stuff? You know. I have a bunch of their stuff around here. Where is it? I've got no fountain pen supplies here on my desk. But all their pads are orange. They have orange covers, and they're made in France, I think, and those are pretty good. Never buy those little black notebooks. What are those called? Starts with an M.
Oh.
I forgot what they're called.
Lost me. I don't know.
Moleskin. Never buy Moleskin.
Yeah, right.
Not with fountain pens. You can use Moleskin with ballpoint pens and with gel pens, but never use Moleskin with a fountain pen. They are garbage. Their paper is Chinese toilet paper. All of that shit all of that's marketing. None of that shit they claim. Van Gogh did not have a Moleskin. Van Gogh had a notebook. Read carefully. He didn't. That Moleskin is a brand they developed in Italy. Then they stopped making the paper there and started making it in China, and they're garbage. Garbage. Mikhail's asking if I have the holiday edition special Chaos Spectrum. No, I don't. And as you guys know, I never buy second derivative products. Like I never buy updates or whatever. There's just too much. I'm not a big enough fan of any of this stuff. Like I don't like the Chaos Spectrum enough to buy another one. It's cheap. It's okay. It's a gimmick with an LED. It's all right. But I mean, am I a snotty jerk?
Sound like you're responsible.
I'm also not buying a lot of 18650 mods. I'm buying one more 18650 mod, and it is the new Aspire mod.
Why does the LED not light all the way around evenly?
Yeah. You know what? Good question. I've asked that question. It's just how it is. That was a huge disappointment. That's just how it is. I asked them, and they were like, yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. So this thing is so disappointing and cheap. It's like, you really couldn't get it to light all the way through, guys? Really? Like, I'm embarrassed.
The X Cube 2 did that 2 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know why they couldn't do it. I'm going to purple mode. Got the perps. A little shade here so people can see it. My lights are so bright you can't see it.
Yeah. That's a good one. The blue is too.
Yeah. The dark blue. The bright blue photographs is white all the time. It's like, good movie theaters.
Yep. No.
Alex Morris asks, are vape mods moving towards 2700 batteries? And my answer to that is, this is just speculation, but yeah, I think so. And the reason is that 2700 batteries are demonstrably, scientifically, obviously, and apparently better in every way than 18650s. 18650s are a remnant of the old power tools that came out of the war years from Vietnam and the Korean War and World War II that came forward. They never significantly changed it. Elon Musk just built a like $30 billion factory in Nevada. The state of Germany just partnered up with Austria, I think, and they built a $3.5 billion factory to build 2700 batteries. And Elon Musk signed a deal and announced it yesterday, a shot of the bow across the entire Trump administration ship, saying, fuck you, watch this. They're building the world's largest battery in Australia And it's going to be the future. They're going to use whatever power to store it. The future of energy for humans is batteries, y'all. And the reason is that right now we're trying to phase out burning oil and coal and natural gas. Oil's been phased out, but natural gas and coal, we're trying to phase out. Most of the plants are on coal. And what we need is batteries. The reason we have coal is that you can turn it on and it comes on and you can turn it off. So during peak times, power goes like this in civilizations, and you have to be able to turn power up and down. Nuclear doesn't work for that because it's all just great baseline power. Things like solar, wind, batteries, and coal, natural gas fire and fill up those little gaps. So batteries are going to be able to store energy from better ways to make energy like solar and wind and that kind of stuff. And that's the future. Elon Musk has decided on this stuff, and they've decided on 21700, and a couple of other related technologies. Look at the documentary in the description. It's called Nova Search for the Super Battery. Watch that documentary and it will all become perfectly clear to you. If you add in the two news pieces that have happened since then, which is that Germany announced with Austria they're partnering up, and Elon Musk announced yesterday they're building the world's largest battery. That battery is going to be made of 18650s, y'all, or 2700s, or some custom thing. But all of the ones that go into your home from Tesla, those are made of 2700s. The ones that are in the new generation of cars from Tesla are 2700s. The old ones are 18650s. That's what's in the Tesla cars. That's why Elon Musk, you think you consume a lot of 18650s? Elon Musk was like, this is stupid. These suck. What do we do? That's what they did. There's the bird.
I was going to say, can you hear him? Hey, Pee-wee.
Well, for some reason, I can hear myself coming out of your audio now. Maybe it's because I'm talking louder. I muted you for a second because that's way loud. Current mods running 18650 batteries aren't compatible because they're the wrong size. 18650 is a size. 2700 is a size. If you pull out your ruler, you'll see that 2700 is 20 millimeters across and 700 millimeters long, whereas, and that's these two batteries, whereas an 18650 is 18 millimeters across and 650 millimeters down. So they're backwards compatible. For example, my iJoy Captain has an adapter that lets you put 18650s in it. So they're backwards compatible if the manufacturer makes it that way, but they're not forward compatible. And this fits into my eFest charger. But not naturally. You can't just exchange the batteries. Because remember, 18650 is a size. It's a size and a specification for the battery. It's not a brand name. It describes the size. And Chili Dog points out that the 0 means that it's a cylinder, which is exactly correct. I forgot that. I had forgotten that. So 18 millimeters across, 65 millimeters long. It's a cylinder. 2700, 21700. You get the idea. So the batteries are different sizes, and you can't put a battery that's the wrong size. Like you can't put a D cell into an 18650 mod either. They're just not the right size. So the new mods are bigger. The new batteries are larger, and there's an adapter that lets you use the old batteries in the new battery thing. For example, look at my Captain. I just put the adapter in with 18650s. So this is the little tube. Otherwise, you can just put 2700s in. Here's a 2700. That I obviously put in backwards. Yeah. Or you can use your stinky old 18650s when you're charging your 2700s on your charger. And they will be in backwards too. You can turn this adapter around. And there we go. So that works fine. So this works on both, but every mod won't. And if they're smart, the manufacturers will will create these adapters.
The 2700s also charge at 2 amp, don't they?
Yeah, and that's the other one. Another one of the benefits that they charge at 2.2 amps. So you can charge it anything less than 2.2 amps. It will not take 1 nanosecond off the life of these batteries because they're designed to be charged at 2 amps. Elon Musk was not fucking around. He was like, these batteries suck. 18650s fucking suck. I want some decent batteries that are like this, that I can expand in parallel till they're big and they store a lot. So, and they didn't pick LiPo because they're fragile. Fucking baklava of a battery that do not hold any charge. Like, you think you could put a LiPo in an electric car? Ha, fuck that. It would go 4 miles and die. And then you would spend 13 hours charging it and you go 4 more miles. These are much better. You do, Alex. You want the Captain if you want 2 batteries. Definitely. I've been trying to get everybody to get on board here if they want to try this thing. The reason I'm so supportive of this mod is that iJoy was the first, not the only, but the first company to bring you a good, reliable, decent 2-battery 18650 that works. And they didn't try to reinvent the wheel or give you new bullshit. It has every little feature you want, including temperature control and a power ramp and different power modes. And it's simple. And they give you batteries in the kit with an adapter. So they're really trying hard. One of my 2700 cells was faulty, and so they replaced it, which is cool. Mailed it back. They're mailing me another one, and that's cool. And yeah. Well, Chili Dog, you don't have to be sorry to me. I don't own these companies. I don't care what you buy. It doesn't matter to me. He said he's going to wait and see what's coming. Sorry, Eli. Like, I don't give a shit. What's next is the Anakin is the next one that's coming out, and it's out now, and it'll be here Tuesday. And then after that, I'm not sure. I thought that iJoy was going to come out with a single battery one, but they didn't. They came out with another 2-battery one. They might be coming out with a single battery one, but we're going to see a flood of 2700 mods. Every manufacturer is going to give it a shot, or they're stupid. They're dead stupid. I'm certainly not going to buy any 2700 mods that aren't just really cool, like the new Aspire. I'm buying that, but I'm not buying it because of the shape or because it's new. I'm buying it because it has Aspire's new chipset and it's in a new form factor, even though it's 18650. So, I mean, the thing is, y'all, you guys are misunderstanding. This is not about iJoy. Like, get it out of your mind. This has anything to do with iJoy. But I'm trying to get all of you guys to understand. I've been saying the same thing for 6 months. It can be really frustrating to feel like nobody understands you. I'm trying to get you guys to understand. 6 months, more than that. What is it? Almost August? It's July. I've been talking about this since December. 2700 batteries are the next thing. And it doesn't matter which one you get. Just keep in mind that you do not want to heavily invest in 18650 right now at this point in history.
Right.
And no, it's not. No, it's not waiting for a different size. Although that was a funny joke. He was kidding me. He's like, wait for 3800. Like, yeah, exactly. That's not how it is. It's not simply about the size. It's about the fact that nobody has put significant effort and energy and money into researching alternatives except Elon Musk. And Elon Musk decided on this. So you must read the writing on the motherfucking wall. You must read the writing on the wall. 18650 is about to be over. End of story. And it might be a year, it might be 2, it might be 5, it might be 10. 2700 might yield to something better later, but 18650 is going out. We're going to still see them. There's a huge amount of infrastructure in the world based on 18650 batteries. So there's not going to be some instantaneous transformation. It's just that what we do have that's going to be fast is immediately a large volume of very good 2700 batteries. And in my opinion, I'm telling the manufacturers to get on board with the future. That's what I'm saying. Get on board with the future because 2700 batteries are what I want to see. And I do not want to see more and more bullshit, new, stupid temperature control modes. All that stuff is a problem looking for a solution. There's nothing wrong. They need to freaking focus on safety and battery life. And that's where we're at with the 2700s. Oh my God, Ed Tucker said you must read the writing. That is clever as shit. I can't believe I didn't think of that.
You don't want a 18650 mod,
Yeah, you'll see it. But keep
Probably.
in mind that some of these 18650 batteries are rated to peak at 50 amps. So some of them. Always check the Mooch reports. The Mooch reports and the Nova battery are always in the description of this video. We should probably wrap this up, by the way, because I've been ranting about batteries forever. We probably exceeded our time by, oh, we definitely have. Yikes.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's okay.
It's all good.
It is all good. All right, so let's do it. Let's vape out. Say whatever you would like to say, Mike. Shout out to your mom and to all your friends. Anything you like.
My mom is an angel now, but actually, she's who got me vaping. She bought me my first vape, and
That is awesome.
Kind of part of it, was in honor of mom. So here's to you, Mom. I quit finally.
Mike, that is sweet. I'm a mama's boy, so I believe in that. My mom's long gone too. Well, I vape out to all of you. I love all you guys. Thanks to Mike for coming on. And stay tuned. Wednesday, 6 a.m., Vape AM right here, and then live on Instagram, Juicy Jones HQ all the time. Thank you.
See you guys.